some of the people told me that they are trying to go back to European countries through Dover.
If you think you're about to be deported and you don't want to be deported to Rwanda, you just disappear, wouldn't you?
Unfortunately, they are so frightened. Most of them left the accommodation where they live.
As you know, the government have been rounding up those who they want to deport to Rwanda. Asylum seekers who have arrived in Britain via those boats, who have been dispersed throughout the country, are now going to be held in detention centres before Rishi Sunak wants them to be deported to Rwanda. One of them is Suhaib. He's a listener to this show, 37 years old, who arrived in the UK from Syria, where he says he was a journalist and where he'd been tortured by both the Assad regime and ISIS, and has been in the UK for 18 months in an attempt to claim asylum, but now finds himself on that list to be sent to Rwanda. This is his story. When did you come to the UK, and how did you get here?
I entered the UK by the small boats. As I told you before in a previous interview, that was in the 14th of November 2022.
What made you want to enter the UK?
Very important question. Actually, I love the UK. When I was a child, I was thinking to move to the UK, to live in the UK, because I was trying to learn English when I was a child, I said. So then after that, I studied English language, but I couldn't continue due to the situation in my country. Mm-hmm. And I have plans here in the UK. Not after I came to the UK, but before that. Before that, I have a lot of plans, like studying in universities here or working in journalism. A lot of plans, actually. Also, I know that the United Kingdom is the best place to say your opinion freely. And we couldn't do this in our country, in Syria.
You were working as a freelance journalist in Syria.
Yeah.
And you left as a result of the war that started, presumably not just to keep yourself safe from the war that was happening, but because the Syrian state didn't like you.
That's true. Didn't like what I was publishing and filming, like the demonstrations against Assad regime. You know, we have undemocratic regime in Syria. So when the Syrian revolution started in 2011, the regime forces started to kill people in my country, especially in my city, Deir ez-Zor, which is in the eastern part of Syria. And I was filming the demonstration. So after that, in October 2011, they arrested me with my father. They tortured us. I can't even talk about it again, about this event. But they also, again, arrested us after 2 months. And after that, the Assad regime lost most of the territories in Syria. I was moving between one city and another to cover the events there, to cover the demonstrations and the violations of Assad regime. So that's why I've been chased by Assad regime. Not only me, but my family also. For example, they have arrested a lot of my friends, a lot of my relatives, just because they are talking with me, or there's phone calls between me and them. So it was so hard to me to stay in Syria, but I stayed there for like 2014. 2014, when ISIS terrorist organization entered Syria, and also another story of chasing started in that date. So after that, ISIS terrorist organization arrested me and tortured me. That was in Aleppo countryside, because I'm sharing interviews or making interviews with foreign channels, like, for example, one of them BBC or El Mundo agency.
So you were working for international organizations who were sort of paying you as a freelance journalist in Syria.
Yeah.
And ISIS captured you?
Discovered that. And then,
tortured you?
Me. Yeah, tortured me. That was in a region called Tadif in Aleppo countryside. And I managed to flee from the prison. Actually, I don't know how, but I managed to flee from the prison. ISIS was planning to behead me in the next day, so that's why I left the area and I went to Turkey, where I thought that I will be safe there. Actually, after that, the terrorist organizations chased me even in Turkey with my family. We were moving between one house and another, disappearing for a long time, moving between cities in Turkey, until the situation became, even in Turkey, more worse than Syria because of the deportation of the Syrians from Turkey to Syria again.
So you moved from Turkey across Europe to the French coast.
That was the final step, yeah.
How much did you pay to get on a boat?
Actually, a large amount of money, yeah. But all of it was borrowing, or I borrow it from my friends, my relatives, because there was
So you're talking
no
thousands?
way.
Thousands of...
You can say over £1,000.
Right. And you made your way on that boat across the channel.
Yeah.
Without interruption. French Navy were there. You saw the UK Navy. Who did you see in crossing the channel?
When we talk about the French government or the French police there, I was a witness on how the French police guided the groups there to the beach where they leave France. So
when you say they guided you, they led you down to the beach.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Also, they've arrested me for 2 days or more than 2 days in Calais without any accusation, without any charge. Only because I was there. I asked them, can I, for example, apply for asylum here? They said, no, you can't. There is like a kind of document they are giving it to the migrants there called KTF. That was in the previous interview. I mentioned it, but it wasn't clear because it was a phone call. The KTF is like a paper called given to the migrant to leave the country immediately or after 1 week. I don't know why, but this is the reality in France.
So you're here in the UK now and have been for, coming up to 2 years, a year and a half or so. What has life been like in the UK?
It's good. Everywhere there's difficulties. Everywhere around the world there is difficulties and problems in any country. But in general, the UK is good. You can live a normal life, safe life here in the UK, and that's what I'm looking for.
So you've made your claim of asylum with the Home Office. The Home Office know you. They know that you have a claim for asylum lodged with them.
Yeah.
So in that system, what have you been able to do? Have you been able to work? Have you been able to earn?
After 1 week of claiming asylum, as an asylum seeker, I can apply for permission to work for asylum seekers, which is like a list of jobs that I can work in it, like a graphic designer, which I'm working in now, or a web designer, or a specific kind of works. After 1 year of claiming asylum, I can apply for this kind of permission to work.
But prior to that year passing, you're living where?
I was living in an accommodation provided by Serco company.
Right.
In Birmingham.
A hotel or a house?
Yeah, it was a hotel.
Right.
And then they've transferred me to Manchester, to a shared house.
But now you're able to work because that year has passed and you've applied and got the job at one of these stated occupations that you can work for. So talk to me about what you have made of. Well, let's go to what the Home Office has done in the year and a half. So you've been able to work. You've got on this list. They've moved you around. What have you been told about Rwanda?
In March 2023, they've sent me a letter saying that I'm one of the people whom might be deported to Rwanda. And immediately I sent them a reply saying that no, I want to stay here for several reasons. A lot of reasons, we'll say it now in the interview. But the response was negative because they said, no, you passed through safe countries prior entry to the UK, so you are one of the person who in the list or might be on the list of deportation. Now, the thing is, I'm going to the Home Office Reporting Center every 2 weeks, and most of my friends disappeared in this
Really?
center. Yeah, especially in the past few days.
Let's just come back to that. So you are required now to report to a Home Office centre because you are on the list of deportation
Yeah,
to potentially be going to Rwanda.
because I'm in the third country unit,
Yeah.
which is specialized in sending people to Rwanda if they find that they are legible or something
Eligible,
else,
yeah.
to send to Rwanda.
So in Suella Braverman's words, you jump the queue and therefore you're eligible to go to Rwanda.
Hmm.
But what is the incentive for you to turn up to the Home Office every 2 weeks? Why would you? If you think you're on this list and you don't want to go...
I'm not sure, but some of the solicitors told me that when I entered the UK, that was illegally. So that is the punishment of entering the UK illegally. So after that, the asylum seeker released from, or really, they released him from the place that they were detaining him, and then this is one of the the points in the bail that saying that he must be or attend an appointments in the reporting center every 2 weeks to find or to make sure that he's still in the UK.
That I guess that's in a sense what I mean is, what is the why would you bother turning up? Why would you go if you think you're about to be deported and you don't want to be deported to Rwanda? What's the point of going? You just disappear, wouldn't you?
That is what a number of my friends does it, which is they are disappearing now. Unfortunately, they are so frightened, and most of them left the accommodation where they live. And I can't explain their situation now. For me, I don't care what will happen next for me, actually, because I lost hope. Frankly, I'll say to you, I lost hope, and I don't know what will happen with me. So I leave it like this. I don't know. There is an appointment for me in the 8th of this month of May, and I'll go there because I respect the law, and we'll see what will happen in the reporting center. But one of the possibilities that they will arrest me or detain me, in the center, to try to push on me, to push on the people or make a pressure to frighten people. That is the only explanation for what's happening now.
So you're talking to your friends about this process, and they are saying, "I'm going underground. I've got to get out of here." And they are dispersed around the UK, or some people we're told are trying to get to Ireland.
And the others, some trying to go to Dover, to go again to Europe.
Are they trying to go back across the channel?
Yeah.
Wow.
They are trying to, to find a ways.
Yeah.
I don't want to involve myself in how to do this, but they told me, or some of the people told me, that they are trying to go back to European countries through Dover, from Dover.
As a result of that, there will be people who support the Rwanda plan who say, well, that is its deterrent. It's working. If it's meaning that people are leaving to the UK to go back into Europe because they're worried that they're going to be deported to Rwanda.
Well, is this way legally, or this way, I'm not asking here, you are the person who asking me now, but I want to ask the people who are watching this interview, is this thing good? Is this thing like legal thing? I don't think so. I don't think that chasing asylum seekers like if we were as if we were leaders in a terrorist organization and raids. The police making raids. I don't know if you see
I've seen it.
the
Handcuffed, put
videos.
into
Yeah.
police vans. Yeah.
When I saw this videos, I thought, or I feel like those people whom being chased by the police are criminals, or leaders in a terrorist organizations, or bad people. But all of what they did is they asked for a safe place. I don't think it's a crime. I don't think it's a charge. And also, the people who must be chased, whom the human traffickers, the criminals, the biggest criminals who let us displaced of our countries, like Bashar al-Assad.
True.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, in my point of view, those are the people who must be chased, not us.
I understand. And the government talked a big game about wanting to see the back of Bashar al-Assad after the war in Syria ended, but that clearly hasn't happened. You say you've lost hope.
Yeah, that's true.
You've lost hope in not being deported to Rwanda. You think that you are going to be deported to Rwanda.
To be clear, I've lost hope in everything because I spent more than 1 year and a half away from my family, from my children. I have 4 children. And my wife, my parents. And now they are all the day keep calling me saying, what's happening now? What is happening in the UK? We see the videos. We are so scared about what will happen with you. And I, all the time keep saying to them that nothing will happen. But I don't know, actually. I don't know what will happen with me.
If you are sent to Rwanda, can you bring your children?
Unfortunately not.
No.
Because I won't be safe in undemocratic dictator country. I'm not talking about the people, by the way. Yeah, I'm talking about the regime. I won't be safe. I will not be safe there. I think it's similar to Assad regime system. Assad regime,
even though the UK
violations
has.
And there's already, by the way, there is already asylum seekers from Rwanda came here to the UK. And that's clear for the people. So why did they claim asylum here in the UK if their country is safe?
And again, people will say, in a position like yours, where you are desperately trying to find somewhere safe for you, for your family, for your 4 children, why not stop in Europe? Why not claim asylum in Germany or France or wherever, the countries that you travel
Very important point. But before answering about that, if you please let me add another point about Rwanda. The UN said that Rwanda is not safe, unsafe. And also, if we suppose that Rwanda is safe and it's a good place to live in, that will mean for me waiting for another 1 or 2 years to have a decision in my claim, and it might be rejected also. That means 4 years away from my family. And after this process, there is another process of reunioning my family or going to visit my family. If the reunion rejected also, I will go to my family to see them and come back to the UK or to Rwanda. So that means more time. And this situation in the place where I left my family is not good. It's horrible, actually. Now they are living in a place affected by the earthquake in Şanlıurfa in southern Turkey. So they are moving between one house and another. I told you this before we were live. That they are moving between a lot of places because our house or the house that I'm renting in Turkey, or they are renting in Turkey, is about to collapse, and most of the houses there. Yeah, so that will be more time for me, and it's impossible to me to handle this or say that it's easy.
But
about the question, why I didn't claim asylum in any of the other countries. I'll begin from the first country, Bulgaria. I've been tortured by the Bulgarian border forces. And I have signs of torture on my body until the moment a dog bites on my back. They've captured us like if we, as if we were criminals, and tortured us for hours. And after that, they let us go or push us again to Turkey. After another time I fast wrote Bulgaria, and I was thinking I want to leave this country as soon as possible. In Serbia, the same thing happened in Serbia in a place called Sombor, which is in the northern part of Serbia. Racist, bad treatment for the people there, the migrants. And after that, I lived through Slovakia, Hungary, and Czech Republic. But in the road, I didn't walk in these countries. I was in a car.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also controlled by a human trafficker.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's the meaning of human trafficker? He wants you to do the things that he wants you to do. So you can't like say no. I'll stay here. I'll go there.
Mm-hmm.
So I find myself finally in Germany, in a city called Nuremberg. Yeah. And there in Germany, there was somebody waiting for me from ISIS terrorist organization, sending me threatened messages all the time, even before I went to Germany. When I was in Turkey, there's a lot of messages from cells of terrorist organizations based in Germany, France, and Belgium.
So you believe yourself to have been at risk from ISIS in Germany,
and
in
Assad
France,
regime also.
in Belgium, from the Assad regime because of everything that you've done in Syria. Why do you not feel that there is that risk in the UK?
Because here it's safe. There is like a kind of safe place surrounded by the security, the very very good intelligence sections, or I don't know what to call it in English.
Security services.
Yeah, so
you think you're better
services
protected
here in the UK, and I didn't hear that there is a big attacks by terrorist organizations happened here in the UK. Did you hear about that?
Oh, there have definitely been big terrorist attacks in the UK.
I mean, like the attacks that waged by the terrorist organization, for example, in France.
Oh, sure.
Where there was killing people in the streets and walking, carrying weapons.
The Bataclan attack in Paris, absolutely. But then,
unfortunately, I'm sorry for the people who lost their lives there. But
UK
I didn't
suffered terror
think
attacks
that
in London, in Manchester. So we're not immune to it. But that was your experience. Your experience in the UK.
That was my opinion. Yeah.
But you know what the law says in the UK. The law says that France, Germany, Italy, Spain, they are, quotes, safe countries.
But for me, it wasn't safe because there is a lot of leaders, members of the terrorist organizations are there. And by the way, the place where I was active in, which is documenting the violations of the terrorist organizations, published a lot of posts about war criminals based in Germany, and file lawsuits, I think, against them in the German courts, but nothing happened. So they are now free, and they are now existing in Germany, in Belgium, and in France. So they can do anything. They already, when I went there, even when they just heard that I'm in Germany, they sent me a lot of messages by fake accounts saying that we'll find you. We know that you're in this place. So it was hard for me to stay there.
I feel incredibly sorry for you because an accident of birth could mean that we just swap places, you know? You'd be sitting here as the journalist interviewing someone as a journalist from Syria who was trying to get themselves safe. So I can absolutely see why you may feel like I've treated you harshly during this because I've asked you questions about why
worries.
You're not safe. And in an ideal world, of course, you wouldn't be sent off to Rwanda because you can speak the language here, you're working here, you've got a job, and if you're being tortured in countries in Europe by the police forces in Europe, I can see why you don't think they're safe either. Or people are messaging you saying they know where you are and they're going to come after you. I can see why you don't want to bring your family here. I wouldn't either. Do you understand, though, why people here would feel that picking and choosing some people to stay and others not, who arrive by boat, wouldn't act as the deterrent they feel Britain needs? We need to stop people arriving by boat.
Understood. I understand that. And I'll talk about this, sorry again to talk about another thing before talking about this or answering this question, which is also, why did you claim asylum here, specifically in the UK? Also, the Geneva Convention allows me to ask for asylum in anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yep. You're not required to ask for asylum.
So that's one of the reasons. Yeah. About the question, I understand that there is a problem relating to the taxpayers here in the UK. They are saying that we are paying this money to provide accommodation for those who, we pay like over 500 million pounds daily, I think. They said that. And I feel sorry about this, but when you ask another question relating to this, why the government does not continue the process of asylum claims and finish this backlogged files, and then there will be no problem. That's the first point. The second thing is, those people, like me, for example, I didn't get the right to stay in the UK yet, but I'm working. I don't want to be a negative person, and there is thousands like me. I know thousands of people, thousands of asylum seekers like me wants to work, but they can't. For example, this shortage occupation list of the permission to work, it's not, they can't work in every kind of jobs.
Sure.
So the people who are working in constructions, for example, or some jobs, I'm not sure, or most of the jobs cannot work even if they got the permission to work. But it's a fact that there is a lot of people, thousands of asylum seekers wants to work. I'm not talking about all of them, but I'm talking about myself.
Sure.
I didn't came here to the UK for economical reasons.
You came here to be safe.
To be safe.
And you want to work.
I have a family.
Sure.
Yeah, so I have to work. I'm working even before getting the right to stay here in the UK. I understand that there is a lot of problems related to the, for example, the NHS, the housing, also the taxes, and the schools, for example, the about to collapse schools here in the UK. A lot of problems, but will this policy of Rwanda ends this problems? Will the decision maker of my case, or Mr. Rishi Sunak, or Mr. James Cleverly, will be happy if they depriving me of seeing my family again? Will they happy if they depriving me, or will they be so satisfied when they see me in this situation? It's unhumanitarian things.
What would you say to him, James Cleverly, Rishi Sunak? What would you say? What would you want to say to them if they were sat where I'm sitting?
Yeah, I'll say simply that. Are you happy now when you see me in this situation, moving between one place and another, fleeing? Not only me, also the asylum seekers, other asylum seekers. Are you happy when you see him chased as if we were criminals or leaders in a terrorist organization? You are chasing the wrong person. Will the problems of the UK will be solved if you send all of the asylum seekers to Rwanda? I'm sure that there will be problems here, but let us be a part of solving these problems. For example, if you let the asylum seekers working, they will help the economic of this country. if you, for example, give them a decision. For me, if you give me a decision in the first week when I came here to the UK, I'll respect this. And I'll say, thank you. Okay, I will not be able to claim asylum here in the UK, so goodbye. And all of this suffering will end after 1 month, after, let us say, after 2 months. But after 1 year and a half here, you will send me to another country to claim asylum there, to stay there for another 1 year or 2 years waiting for the final decision. And then if they reject me, they will bring me back to the UK and I'll wait again. So I don't know what to say. Is this make sense for the people who are watching us now? Is this like... I'm sorry to say that, but Mr. Sunak, are you happy now when you are hugging your daughters, hugging them or hugs them? Sorry. And seeing me in this situation, lying on my children and telling them that I'm in the next city of you, but I'm working, so I'll see you as soon as possible. When my daughter asking me that, where are you, father? You've been out of the house for a long time. I said, I keep lying on her and said, yeah, I'm here, I'm near, but I'm so busy, so I'm sorry, I'll see you. Will you be able to hug your daughter when you see me and thousands like me in this situation?
Great to speak to you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.